There's no review day before a quiz. There'll be a review day before every unit test, but not a quiz. So what I do before a quiz is I'll at least tell you every single thing you can expect on the quiz. But I don't have practice problems. I don't have any of that stuff for quizzes. Tests I will, but definitely not for quizzes in a class of this level. 7 questions, 24 points. There's going to be 1 construction on it. Please make sure your compass and straight edge is in class tomorrow. 1 construction. And let's be honest with each other right now. I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to play games here. You got 4 you did for homework. Anybody remember the last one in your notes from Friday? Given a line segment, how to find the what? Look back if you need to. Let's not have a staring contest with me. Look back if you need to. Last construction, given a segment, find me. Okay, guys, it's one of those. All right, I'm not going to throw a new one at you. It's one of these 4 or find the midpoint. Are you going to be prepared or not? That's what this is going to come down to tomorrow. Are you going to know how to know these 4 and find the midpoint down cold? All right, I don't have any zero sympathy now that I'm telling you all this. All right, if it just looks like hot garbage tomorrow on the quiz, zero sympathy. All right, I'm telling you it's one of these 4 or find the midpoint. You guys prepare. So 1 construction on there tomorrow. Points, lines, and planes. Make sure you know how to label one properly, right? I shouldn't even be going over this much. Right, this is line AB. Make sure we know how to write it correctly. Plane, you name a plane by what's in the corner here, plane Q. All right, things like that. Some vocabulary. Now, I say vocab, but I don't mean you're going to write definitions for me. No. These words are going to come up in a problem tomorrow. Collinear, coplanar. How do you name a plane? All right, so make sure you know what those all represent because it's going to come up in a problem. Draw your own diagram. Here's what I mean. Let's say we got plane R. So plane R, do you know how to label that or not right now? Plane R. R's got to go somewhere in the corner. You got 3 lines. They all intersect at the same point. 3 lines on the plane, all intersect at the same point, but not all 3 are on the plane. All right, not all 3 are on the plane. So these 2 are on the plane. How do I draw the third one not on the plane? What do I got to start making here now? There you go. Now they all intersect at the same point, but not all 3 are on the plane. It's not that question, but I'm going to give you some facts, and you got to draw the diagram for me. Questions? Algebra with segments. A couple people just asked questions from your homework about it. Let's see, where was it? Like these type questions right here we did, where I set up an equation, you solve it for the variable and be ready to plug it back in. All right, is it necessarily going to be this piece equals this piece? No. You got to read what I give you, know your facts, set up a correct equation, solve for the variable, plug that sucker back in. All right, plug it back in. That's algebra with segments. Midpoint and distance formula. I'm not giving them to you. You guys know that. And probably not going to feel sympathy if you get them wrong. All right, because you didn't spend the time to remember 2 formulas. And yes, simplest radical form. What if your answer is square root of 20? What are you going to do? What if your answer is square root of 48? What are you going to do? All right? Tomorrow you could show me, Bia. All right? Oh, okay. Yeah. Right? You're going to have to break down your answer into simplest radical form because both those answers won't be accepted. They're not in simplest radical form. And then if you go back to your notes, might as well just tell you what page it was on. We did a problem with Ben and Kate on page 11 of your packet where one unit on the grid equaled 100 yards. Same thing tomorrow. Okay, same thing tomorrow. Same thing tomorrow, okay? So there's a problem similar to the Ben and Kate problem. And there you go. Your first opportunity to show me what you know. All right, remember, these quiz and tests accumulate to 95% of your quarter grade. All right, homework's great. Doesn't move the needle that much, but here's where it is tomorrow, game day. Anything I can answer from you guys on these topics? Just so you know the procedure, how I do tests and quizzes. You'll walk in, and I'm going to give you the quiz. Here you go. Good luck. Okay? Homework tonight is due on Wednesday. All right, so the homework at the end of today's notes is not due until Wednesday, specifically so you can focus on the quiz tomorrow. I'm not even going to talk about homework tomorrow. You'll come in, sit down, here's the quiz, get after it. If for some reason I don't see any reason why, but if you don't finish within the whole class period, you'll stay into the next class period and finish. I do not allow students to come back at the end of the day. Reason, it's not fair. All right, you already know what's on there, so now you can get whatever material or talk to whoever about stuff you didn't finish and figure it out. That's not fair to your classmates. So if you do need to go 5 extra minutes into period 5, so be it. But I don't see that happening tomorrow if we're going to start right away. Anything. You can use calculators. That's fine with me. I don't care. That's fine. Make sure you got your compass and straight edge ready to go. All right? Last minute questions, last thing here. I'll be here after school today if you want to stop by and review anything. But this is it, days 1 through 5. All right, we're good? Okay, so I'm going to move on to the new stuff, not on the quiz. All right, homework due Wednesday. All right, homework due Wednesday. And we're going to start talking about angles here. Angles, all right? All right, let's jump right into it. First thing, before we get into an angle, I got to mention what a ray is. You guys ever heard of a ray before? Think of this right now in your mind. Think of a line segment. Take one of the endpoints off and replace it with an arrow. Got that picture in your mind? That's a ray. Okay? That's a ray. Take a line segment, take one of the endpoints off and replace it with an arrow. And you have yourself a ray. There it is. There's a ray. All right, let's put some points on the ray. Let's name the endpoint A. Let's throw on B and C on that ray. Hopefully tomorrow you guys remember, that's line segment AB. That's line AB going into tomorrow. Well, there's same thing for a ray. You can have ray AB. Or we could also name this ray AC. That's fine. Here's the thing though. What you start with has to be the endpoint. What you start with has to be the endpoint. I cannot name this ray BA. I can't. All right. You always have to start with the endpoint. Okay. Start with the endpoint. Lines and segments, order doesn't matter, but it does now for the ray. All right, ready? Opposite rays. Basically, here you go. 2 rays share the same endpoint. They share the same endpoint, and they form a line. Okay, it's a line, basically. Here you go. I'll put F right here. I'll put H right here. I'll put J right here. Somebody right now is going to name me the 2 opposite rays here. Name the 2 opposite rays in my diagram. 17, Emma, you got the 2 opposite rays here? Give me 2 rays that share the same endpoint. Say that again? JF and JH, they're the same ray. That's the same ray. Endpoint J, H. Endpoint J, F. That's the same ray. I need them going opposite each other. Different rays, but they're going in the same direction. Okay, they got to go. So ready? F, H. That's this ray right here. Good. HJ, but they don't share an endpoint, though. They got to share an endpoint. What's the endpoint of FH? F, give me another ray that shares F as an endpoint. FJ, there we go. Okay, they have to share the same endpoint, everybody. All right, and going in opposite directions. Everyone okay? Going in opposite, we're all right? All right, let's move on. Now I can get into angle. I had to show you guys what a ray was, because if you put two rays together, it forms an angle. All right, put two rays together, it forms an angle. Everyone see the two rays in my diagram? We're good? Okay, everyone see where they meet. I'm going to put point A. That's called the vertex of the angle, where those two rays meet. That's my vertex. I'm going to put some other points on there. Let me put B and C on there. And I'll even throw in a little number inside the angle. All right, just like everything else, how do you name it? What's the symbol for it, right? How do you name it? What's the symbol? 3 different ways you can name an angle. 3 different ways. First way is just name it by the vertex. What's the vertex up here again? A. So I could call this angle A. Now, how do I write an angle symbol? There you go. Looks like a little less than sign. Angle. So now I'm just going to warn you. Sometimes I write that. Sometimes I do this too. Both mean angle. Okay, so just, what does he mean by that? That's how sometimes I flip-flop between them. Angle A. That's how I can name that one. Yes. Very rarely, but sometimes you'll see a number inside. What's my number inside? That's a 2. Yep, not a Z. Sorry. I could also name this angle 2. Means the same thing. I mean the same angle. Most of the time, though, it's going to be the third and final way. Name it with 3 letters. Bless you. Name it with 3 letters. But, if you're going to name it with 3 letters, that middle one's got to be the vertex. So go ahead. Shout something out here. How else could I name this? BAC. Angle CAB. But the middle one has to be the vertex. We all good? So 3 ways to name an angle. Probably I would prefer that way for everybody. Okay, naming it with 3 letters where the middle letter is the vertex. That's what I would prefer. All right, let's keep grinding. I'm hoping you guys know types of angles, or have heard of them. Right angle, what do you know? Exactly 90 degrees, correct. Exactly 90 degrees. More importantly, how do you know an angle's a right angle? What do they usually throw on it? A little box, right? Little square on it, yep. Hopefully you guys have seen this before. Right there. Tells me it's 90 degrees. Instead of writing 90 in there, I can do the symbol. Have you guys ever heard of a straight angle before?
Yeah,
exactly 180. Good, Via. Yep, exactly 180. Basically, it's another name for what that we've talked about. Give me another name for a straight angle that we've talked about. A line. Exactly. Yep, it's a line. $180. How about an acute angle? Okay, less than 90. I'm actually going to make it a little bit more detailed. Between 0 and 90. And we will never talk about it this year. You'll talk about it when you go to Algebra 2 next year, but you can have negative angles. Negative degree angles, right? So that's why I'm going to say between 0 and 90. Good. And then how about obtuse? Between 90 and 180, yes, because next year you're going to experience and then get exposed to angles bigger than 180. So between 90 and 180. All good? Anything? So just want to make sure we're good with those. All right, you ready? Do you have your compass on you? And a straight edge. Let's get it out if you do, please. Gonna need one tomorrow for the quiz. You guys know how to, well, you should know how to copy a line segment and find the midpoint of a line segment. Now what we're going to do is how to copy an angle. I understand now this is the third construction I'm showing you, and there's a heck of a lot more. And you're never going to remember the steps. So what I do for you guys is up on Classroom, if you're ever on a homework assignment or wherever, and you forget the steps of any constructions we do this year, you go on Classroom, there's something at the bottom that says construction help, and it is a link to YouTube videos that myself and Miss Venezia, who's the other geometry teacher, put together a couple years ago. Okay, so you go there. Just want to show you how it works, so it's not it's familiar to you. These are all the constructions we're going to do this year, and you guys find the one that you need help with. So let's say you needed help with copy and angle, the one we're about to do. I think I probably just went by it. Copy it. There it is. Copy and angle. And it's right there for you. You can go step by step with us again. All right. So it's no excuse. Oh, I forgot what he did in class. Go to our YouTube construction page and find the one you need. All right. Find the one you need. As you can see, guys, we're going to be doing a lot of them, huh? Okay. We got a ton to do here this year. All right. So how do I copy an angle? Everyone see I've given you point B? What you need to do is make a ray now off of point B. So grab your straight edge, make a ray off point B for me, because we're going to do that construction on the ray. Point B, draw yourself a ray. Put an arrow on it. So now we're going to make an angle A that's congruent to angle B. What's congruent mean again? Equal to. Now, it usually meant same length with segments, right? Same length. Now this is going to have the same angle measure. All right, take your compass right now. Put it on the vertex A. Put your compass point on vertex A, everybody. And what you need to do is make an arc through both those rays on angle A. Make an arc through both the rays of angle A. I'll do it with you if you need a little visual demonstration. I'm going to take my compass, put my compass point on vertex A, and make an arc that goes through both of those rays. Do a different color. There you go. Make an arc that goes through both those rays. Come on over to ray B. Place your compass point on endpoint B. And hopefully you didn't open or close your compass. Hopefully it's the same opening as you made your first arc. And go ahead, everybody. Make an arc through ray B. Done. We're getting there. Make an arc through ray B. Good work. Looks good. Beautiful. Beautiful. Everyone's got the arc through it. Okay, now here's the part you got to remember. That's all easy, right? Just make an arc, make the same one over on the ray. Here's where we got to remember. Go back to angle A, the one we're copying. Do you see the 2 points of intersection on the rays? Everyone see the 2 points of intersection that you made on your rays? For me, it's right here and right here. You're going to put your compass point on one, pencil on the other, and don't do a darn thing. Just open it up to that length. So put your compass point and your pencil point on both points of intersection, and that's all I need from you. Just figure out, measure the opening. And then don't do a darn thing with your compass because that'll screw it up. All good? Okay, come back to your ray. Here's the thing now. I am not going to put it on endpoint B again. I'm going to put it on the point of intersection. Okay, so again, I measured the distance between the 2 points of intersection on the angle I'm copying. Now I'm going to go back to my ray that I'm trying to make, or the angle I'm trying to make, put my compass point on where it intersected. And now look, take a look here. You can do this below, so they intersect, or you can do it above. It doesn't. I don't need both though. So make these two arcs the second arc you're about to make, intersect the first one above or below, but not both. Hey, anybody coming where they can't intersect? If that's the case, go back and make your first one longer. All right? If you cannot get them to intersect, go back, make your first one longer. Grab your straight edge. Line up endpoint B with that point of intersection, and you've made a congruent angle to A. All good. Questions? So angle A. Now, do they look the same size? Doesn't this look a heck of a lot bigger than A? So how can they be congruent? Well, for angles, it doesn't matter how big or how small they look to each other. It all matters about the measure, the angle measure. Okay, last thing we need to do. How do you mark a diagram to show they're congruent? How do we do it for segments again? Hash marks, right? Well, I can't do that for an angle. Where am I going to put those bad boys? So to make two angles congruent, we put arc marks inside them. Ready? Arc marks. This tells me on any diagrams that those two are congruent. Okay, arc marks. Not hash marks, those are for segments. Arc marks are for angles. How's it look, all right? Questions from you guys? Going? Okay, let's keep grinding then. Bisector angle. New vocabulary term. New vocab term. And a bisector, here you go, here's the most important part. Divides an angle into two congruent angles. Divides an angle into two congruent angles. So everyone's got angle BAC on there? Here you go. You ready to divide it into two angles with me? Take your compass. We're going to do a construction. So, hey, let's visualize first what's going to happen at the end. Everyone remember what a ray is? That's what I'm going to have at the end, hopefully. That cuts this angle into two congruent ones right there. Ready? Take your compass, put it on vertex A. I don't need a ray here because I need to bisect that angle. And go ahead and make an arc that intersects both rays again. Make an arc that intersects both rays. Done. Everyone's got it? You got 2 points of intersection again? Okay, put your compass point on one of those points of intersection. Make an arc above your first one. Doesn't need to intersect at all. Make an arc above your first one. Go to the other endpoint. Make the same arc so they intersect each other. Looks like fireworks. Okay, go to the other point of intersection. So they intersect. Looks like a little fireworks show going on. Those last two arcs should have been made with the same compass opening. Okay? Those last two arcs should have been made with this. All three can be the same, by the way. That doesn't matter. But the last two have to be. Grab your straight edge. Let's draw an array that's going to cut this angle in half. Go back to the directions. What do I have to call this, Ray? AX, right? So I have A, so I need to put X somewhere on there. All right, doesn't matter where. Put X somewhere on the ray. We had to call it AX. All right, let's finish up class by talking here. AX cuts angle BAC in half. I need somebody right now I'm going to call on. Can you name me two angles in that diagram that are congruent now? AX just cut BAC in half into two congruent angles. Please name the two congruent angles in my diagram appropriately using three letters. Using three letters, name the three angles that are congruent. Ooh, 18. You ready, Adrian? What are the two angles that are congruent now? Name them with three letters. I just cut this whole angle into two congruent angles. Where are they?
BAX.
Okay, is everyone ready? Let's write it down. Angle BAX. Hopefully you can see where that angle is. And what's the other one?
XAC.
That's fine. That is congruent to, there's my symbol, XAC. Everyone see how the bisector works? Okay, next question. What can I put on those two angles you just gave me? What can I just put on those to show they're congruent? Not hash marks. Arc marks, right? Yep. And just take a quick peek how I do it when they're right next to each other. I like to stagger my arc marks because if you don't, everyone see that? It kind of looks like I'm talking about the whole angle. We're never going to know. So kind of stagger them. Here's what I mean by stagger them. One above and one above and below each other. Okay? So that definitely tells me those two angles are the same measure. Questions? Okay, here's what I'm going to do because I did not get through everything I wanted to. Don't worry about the homework at all. We'll finish these notes on Wednesday, and then that homework will be for Wednesday night. Okay, so we're going to be a little day behind, which is not a big deal at all. Okay, everybody good? So we'll finish the notes on Wednesday. Homework will be Wednesday night now. So all you have to worry about is that quiz and getting after it tomorrow. All right, get after it.